really don't think popcorn lung is a real thing, because every time I go to the airport, I like suck in my vape and just hold it in as long as I can, and I just don't let the vape out.
Okay, I
And
hate
I've
to
been doing that-
interrupt, but welcome to Hate to Interrupt, episode 27. I am Ethan from youtube.com/Gulif, and I am joined by...
Nick from Stop Culture.
I'm VHS guy Nick.
And we're also joined by Jacob Ross. He's a filmmaker
Hello.
and YouTuber. Yeah.
Film guy.
YouTube.com/Jacob Ross. Jacob with a K.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, welcome in,
All
Jacob.
right.
Yeah, so today we're going to be interviewing Jacob, and then we got a couple movies to talk about. We're going to talk about the Monkey, which is Osgood Perkins film that just came out recently, and then Fantastic Planet, which is a 1976 French animated film that was really cool. So let's get into.
Can you say the French title?
Fantastic Planet. I don't know.
I think
I don't even want to risk saying the director's name.
It's like La Planète Sauvage or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. All right, let's get into this interview. Mr. Ross, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. With you being a YouTuber as well as a filmmaker, and with VHS Nick and I also being YouTubers with an interest in filmmaking, I'm curious as to what the cause of you creating your channel in the first place was. What bug bit you? The YouTuber bug or the filmmaker bug? Maybe a bit of both.
I think it was kind of both, actually, because when I was a kid, I had like a huge dream of becoming a filmmaker, and that kind of seeped in through YouTube. Like I was watching a lot of film critic YouTubers growing up, like the Nostalgia Critic, Your Movie Sucks, I Hate Everything, and Ralph the Movie Maker. So I was very inspired by them to kind of start doing YouTube and creating like movie reviews and just like anything that I could. Just anything that I was interested in making or having fun with. And I guess like starting out with YouTube helped out with me figuring out like just how to make movies and watching a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to make movies and like what's the best way to shoot stuff and watching a lot of video essays. But yeah, it just kind of like they both met together at a certain point in my life, and I started making videos back in like 2016. Like I have all the videos privatized on my channel, but I don't think those will see the light of day anytime soon.
Yeah, I think we've all got a few of those.
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't go to film school or anything. You learned how to make movies from YouTube tutorials and stuff. That's really impressive.
Basically, yeah. Just watching movies and YouTube tutorials was the main thing. I basically self-taught essentially.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm in school right now, and it's not like a film school. It's just like a community college, but they have like a film program there. So, it was interesting because I thought I already like had known like a lot of stuff about filmmaking, but in those courses I ended up finding out like a lot more ways to do things. So I was like, oh, this is like brand new to me. So it was very exciting to do.
Right. Yeah.
Do you see one as like an avenue to the other? Like, what's your kind of end goal with all this?
Oh man, like I think right now YouTube's been just kind of helping me gather an audience, gather some people to support my films and back me up with that. So I'm thinking YouTube's a good way to kind of, like I said, like build that audience. And then eventually if I want to crowdfund a movie and just be like, hey guys, do you want to give me money so I can make this movie maybe? But yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. Similar to kind of the Ralph the Movie Maker route in a way.
Yeah.
Although he's really stepped away from the YouTube stuff in the last few years.
He has.
When creating videos for YouTube, the Nix and I, as well as many other YouTubers, have a constant push and pull with consistency. Consistency not only in the quality of our videos, but also at the pace of our output to maintain and appease the dreaded YouTube algorithm. How has striking that balance affected you, your art, and your channel?
Oh, man. Just like the algorithm, like the challenges with it.
It's a bit of that, and also like we mentioned this a couple episodes ago, where it's really hard to kind of consistently come up with ideas for YouTube videos, because you'll have a month or so where you're just, I have nothing in my head, but I feel obligation to make something. So yeah, there's just that it's, you want to make art, but also you're forced to make content in a way.
Yeah. I do have like a long notes list of like video ideas that I have. A lot of the times it's just like I'll be somewhere and I'm just like thinking, oh, that would be a great idea for a YouTube video, and I'll just add it into the never ending list of stuff. And I try to like make a video at least like once a month. Like that is like the max that I want to hit. If I go over that, then I'm like, okay, I need to like really crunch something out. But yeah, the list of video ideas is a main help in coming up with video ideas. Like I'll just go back to that as a way of I don't know, just finding video ideas, I suppose. So let me see if I can pull up some. I don't know. Give
Yeah, I also keep a notes app.
Let's
yeah, yeah. Let's steal your ideas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta be
Please
careful
don't.
about
No.
that. You gotta be, I would
like,
never
it's
do
just-
that, but you never know.
Yeah, I have the
huge
same thing.
list.
Oh, damn.
And
Yeah, I have one too.
I talked about, or my ideas I have is like rare and obscure home media releases. Already talked about YouTube's AI trailer trend. Oscar
God.
bait, the sequelification of cinema, the anatomy of a perfect jump scare, are movie ratings outdated, just like things like that. And so each month I'll usually come back to my computer or come back to the page and be like, okay, which video idea am I really like interested in right now? Like this month it was movie trailers again, because I had seen like some new movies and I was just like, oh, the trailer gave away the whole film. So I was like, well, I'll just talk about that. And I have something to say about that with the monkey later on, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so that's just basically my like technique, I guess, or usually where I go to.
So like I feel like YouTubers, a lot of people that end up making YouTube channels are just kind of naturally opinionated people. Like, did you feel like, I'm kind of an opinionated guy, maybe I can try to monetize this opinionation I have, you know? Like, is that something that you felt at all? Or maybe not monetize, but just like share it with people, you know? Was that what kind of compelled you to get out there and start one?
Well, like monetization wasn't really like the goal for me. When I started out making videos, I usually, like, it was just me and my friends just goofing off and like making funny videos. Like we would what we would do is we would put on like a really bad movie and then just commentate over it, and then a lot of like really funny moments ended up coming out of that. Like I have we watched through the whole Twilight series, so I have like video series of that on my channel. So yeah, it was just mostly for fun. Nowadays it's nice having like some form of income coming back. It's not a lot, but you know, like hopefully we'll get to that point eventually where it's like, oh, okay, you know, I can pay my rent with this like amount of revenue, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of the point we're all hoping to get to, is where we're just not stressing about money. That'd be great.
I guess while we're talking about like kind of having ideas for videos, do you have any kind of like habits or like rituals you have that when you go into like making a new video or like dissecting your old ones, or just anything in the process that you find kind of interesting that maybe somebody else could learn from?
I guess my main thing is like I'm scared of like just being repetitive with some of my videos, like especially with my latest video where I talked about trailers again. And I made a video about trailers like maybe 11 months ago. And I was like, well, I really want to make sure that I'm not just remaking the same video. Like I have something new to say. And then once I had written the script, or like during writing of the script, I was going back to that old video and I was like, oh, okay, I'm on a different track now. I'm like going into different like trailer topics than like what I talked about before. But I guess like kind of habits is I usually like to just sit down and kind of like make a cup of coffee and then just like stare at the computer, turn off my phone, get that away, and then just get to writing most of the time.
Right. So you
Yeah.
made a video about the death of movie posters, and then the death of movie trailers. That was the more recent one. In your mind, do you view those as like sister videos? Are they connected in any way? Is there like a kind of connective trend between those two things?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like kind of like in the same theme where I'm taking a look at a certain topic and I'm like, okay, this isn't as good as it used to be, or is it's like in a bad spot right now. It's a bit like over dramatic, you could say. Like, I mean, it's not like the literal death of movie trailers or movie posters. It's just like, there's a lost art form to it. And I was just like, well, I just want to talk about it.
Yeah. And they both deal with like movie marketing,
Yeah. And then I might like branch off into like, God, I don't even know, like movie advertising. I don't even know. Just something like in that field. Like I'd like to touch on more subjects like that.
I actually had a question kind of related to this. Like if you could change like one thing about like modern filmmaking overall, what would it be?
Oh man.
More AI.
Yeah, more AI. Yeah, that's what we need. Shoot, I don't know. What would to get rid of? Oh man.
It doesn't have to be a get rid of, just like if you could change one thing in general.
I just think like I hope when, I'm old enough to start coming to studios with like ideas, like maybe writing a script and going to a studio and saying, hey, do you want to produce this? That they actually like pay attention or like want to hear smaller voices, because it seems like nowadays it's just like you see the same like big names, people just like making movies constantly, and they're not inviting smaller filmmakers. Like I know Sean Baker, he's like he's in the indie field, but it's probably not taking. It probably took until now for people or like studios to finally realize like, oh, okay, we can start giving this guy some more money to make his films. So I don't know. I just hope like in the future they kind of
So just more risk taking.
More risk taking. Absolutely, that's the main thing. Everything's just too clean nowadays.
I love seeing weirder movies, even ones that I don't think work. But specifically like a one that does work and that's weird as hell. You got a poster of it on your wall. The Substance. That's one where I'm just
absolutely.
like, I love seeing weird shit and people taking risks on movies and it paying off.
Absolutely,
that's what I love.
I mean, I'm really curious about how you get onto the indie track, like how these people like Robert Eggers or Ari Aster or Oz Perkins, like how did they become the kind of like indie darlings that they are within the film industry? Because it's a different track. I'm sure it's like a different methodology to become that at that, that level of indie stardom, like indie star filmmakers, as opposed to someone like, Steven Spielberg, like the Scorseses and Tarantinos of the world, Like I don't really know enough about their stories. That would be interesting to hear like what doors they went through to get where they are. You know what I mean?
I think oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I think like the main thing for them was like they probably submitted like short films to festivals. Like festivals seems like the main place to get discovered, because like a lot of studios are actively watching those. So they're like looking around, looking for people to produce films for. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Like I don't even know how Robert Eggers started his career, and I'd actually want to look into it. But
yeah, I'm not sure for him specifically, but there's a lot of paths for smaller filmmakers. I mean, a lot of it is like submitting short films to festivals on almost no budget. But
and then you get
a lot of people get their leg in the door through like just knowing people too,
Or I guess you can get like a viral short film like Ari Aster had with A Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point actually, because you have a viral short film. You made a Hotline Miami short film, which is it's based off a game, right?
It's based on a video game, yeah.
Yeah, that is your most popular video, sitting at like 250,000 views. That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about that. Like
that was a big shocker. Yeah. It was just like my whole channel, like it would not be where it's at if I didn't make that movie, which is kind of crazy to say, but it's very much true, because before that I had like maybe 500 subscribers, I think. And I uploaded the trailer for that film, and we just made it for fun. We weren't even making it for like revenue or anything like that. Like we were just like, you know what? I wrote the script. Let's make this, it'll be fun. And I uploaded the trailer for that. And I think it's at, I don't know what it got, like 26,000 views. And that was a shocker. I was just like, holy shit, like people are excited for this. So I ended up just kind of hyping it up a little bit more because people were coming in, subscribing, waiting for it to release. And I think I pushed it out like when I released that trailer, like maybe like a month or two ahead. I think I uploaded in August, and I was like, okay, it's going to release in October because I still had to finish a lot of stuff with it. But people just were coming in, and that when that released, I know that like it just skyrocketed. Like people were sharing it around. I know the Hotline Miami subreddit were making posts of it saying like, hey, check this out, it's really cool. And it has a lot of like, there's a lot of criticism to it, but like I usually just take that criticism and I'm gonna utilize it to learn from it and just make better stuff. But yeah, it's all just a learning experience. And it was like, this was the first lengthy short film that I had made in a long time. So yeah. I'm working on something next. So
that's awesome. It's a really good mentality to have, what you were just talking about taking criticism on YouTube, because I think that's a lot of YouTubers want to get into the mentality of being like, oh, fuck the haters. I don't care what the haters have to say.
No,
but sometimes the hate, I mean, not necessarily the haters, but it's a skill that you have to develop when you're a content creator to be able to kind of like in your own head, sift through comments and be like, who is just saying things to be an asshole or because they're bored, and who actually has something that might be valuable for me to learn, to, ingest and try to use in the future. So that's good that you said that, I think.
Yeah. A lot of the time, oh, sorry to cut you off again.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I think I told this to Nick before we started recording, but like there was a comment on my video, my physical media video, where somebody said, talk too much, turned off. And I was like, that's hilarious. So I pinned the comment, and it was just like, I don't let it get to me. I just usually use it to, I don't know. It just doesn't, I guess I have thick skin, but
honestly, to get there. You're kind of right. Cause the only ones that really hurt are whenever that there's some truth to it. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, he's right.
Yeah. That, or if they like try to attack you personally, then I'm like, okay, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me too much.
That's a hilarious comment to leave on a video essay. Talk too much. It's like, what do you
talk too much? I turned it off.
It wasn't even like a video essay. It was just him explaining every movie. It's an hour long.
It's just my physical media.
This movie I really like. Talk too much.
They're like, lots of artsy fartsy movies. I'm like, what? It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So I watched the first and last videos of your YouTube career just to witness how much growth you've had from your channel since its first day. Since you made a short film and then a movie review, I watched both of these since your channel has a good balance between the two. How much would you say that you and your work has grown since the channel's first upload all those years ago? What has been your biggest improvement?
I think my biggest improvement is just like, I don't know, it's gonna sound cheesy, but like the confidence in myself with like recording my videos. I know I was like still living with my parents and like that. I don't know, what was the last video, or like the oldest one? Was it the Truth or Dare movie review?
You had the Truth or Dare movie review, which I watched, and then the Smithereens horror short film.
Yeah. Back then I was like, I was living with my parents, so I was like trying to like record really quietly in my closet, like with a blanket over my head. But like nowadays when I have my own apartment, I can just like freely shout and scream, and I don't know, I don't have any issues with recording. Like I'm very very quick with it, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but
just confidence.
Just the confidence in making my videos and having like an online presence, I guess. As well as the editing. I think like the editing I spend so much time on. My latest videos I spend like probably 8 hours or more just editing, just because there's so much small things that I like to tweak, and like small things that no average viewer would notice, but only I notice. So I'm just like, okay, I got to fix that small little millisecond error. And
So
yeah.
So I feel like with my editing, I pull a lot of like, I'm like, I want to do this thing, and I kind of think of something similar, right? Your editing is really good. Where do you kind of pull inspiration from for your editing style in your videos?
For a while, I know like right after I released Hotline Miami, and then I like dove into like video essays, I like pulled a little bit too much from Carson Runquist. So his like kind of video aesthetic, just the simple like footage from the movie and then just talking over that like that, I took a lot of inspiration from. But nowadays I think like once I made the death of movie posters video, that's when I really found my own style. I was like, okay, this is my kind of aesthetic, just this kind of cozy, comfy, like I do have like a bit of a VHS like aesthetic as well. But yeah, like I think it took until that video where I was like, okay, this is my aesthetic.
Right.
Because it's just a great aesthetic.
Yeah, nowadays
Thank
your editing is far more detailed than someone like Karsten's for sure. Like you put a lot. It seems like you put a lot of painstaking effort, and I'm surprised that you said you only spent 8 hours doing this. That's like crazy.
I don't know how the hell
it's really short.
Yeah, my videos are, my editing style is much more simplistic than yours, and I spend like probably double or triple that sometimes editing videos. You know.
Same.
Well, what kind of? I'm just curious. What kind of editing software do you guys use?
I use DaVinci.
I've been using CapCut for the longest time.
CapCut's good.
Nick edits on his phone. He edits on his phone.
Damn.
And his videos look like that. Like that's crazy, bro.
CapCut is really advanced for like it being a free, like even DaVinci. They're weirdly like just really good for being free softwares.
For me, it's very intuitive.
I've paid DaVinci.
I've paid CapCut too, but it's just very intuitive for me. But I'm sure eventually my most recent video is like 8,000 words long, so I'm worried about actually doing that on my phone. I might have to like literally I might have to get a new software just to do this video. So we'll see.
They do have CapCut on PC as well.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how different it is.
Yeah.
What do you use, Premiere?
I use Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut.
Oh damn! I use Premiere. We all use different stuff.
Yeah, I've tried to use Premiere, but Premiere is just like I open up Premiere and it looks like if you know the front of the cockpit of an airplane, like all those buttons and things. Like I'm just like I have no idea what to do and where to go for anything. It would take me years to learn that.
I've seen people like all the Apple software is like pretty intuitive.
Yeah, it's really simple too. Like it was easy to learn as well.
Yeah,
that's like for my music software. I do everything on Logic because I think Apple just makes such intuitive interfaces. You know, like it's just so easy to use.
Yeah,
I jumped from iMovie to Final Cut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
yeah. So, who would you say has had the biggest creative influence on you and your work, not only as a YouTuber but as a filmmaker as well?
As a YouTuber, definitely Your Movie Sucks. I binge watch his videos all the time. I love the way he talks about movies, and I'm kind of jealous because he's just like so knowledgeable and in depth about everything. He uploads like hour-long videos of just, I don't know, the most simple movie possible, and he just like tears it to shreds, and I love that. I love criticizing movies. I love it. It's just fun. But so for YouTube, that's like the biggest inspiration. Him and I Hate Everything as well. Like they're both kind of equal.
He's been reviewing Synecdoche, New York for the last like 8 years.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'll ever see in my lifetime him finish that, but so there's that. And then I guess for film, definitely David Lynch. David Lynch has just been such a huge inspiration on my work, and I don't want to say ripped off, but for like my first short, I definitely ripped off Eraserhead quite a bit, like from the same themes and like aesthetic. But, you know, that was just like me figuring out, you know, like how to make a movie. So I was just like, okay.
Well, when you're starting out, you don't have an aesthetic, you know?
Yeah.
So
you got to learn it.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
So I was kind of finding my way.
I also watched Mysophobia from 2020 that you made, which I'm guessing was right around COVID because it very
Yes,
much felt
yeah,
like a
that was like
COVID-inspired
right
film.
at the peak, yeah, of
Yeah, that
lockdown.
felt very Lynch to me as well.
So are you big
Yeah, that
Twin
was
Peaks
great.
guy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I rewatch it every year. It's great.
Yeah,
I
probably
need to
not
watch
every
it.
year, but like I've rewatched it probably 4 times now. I really love it. I've been trying to get these guys to watch it too. I think it would be great to
How
It's
talk
many
about it on the pod one time.
oh,
is it like a
I'd be
absolutely.
down.
full multiple seasons of a show?
I
It's
mean,
like
it's 3 altogether.
two seasons
Okay.
of the 90s show, and then there's a
Yeah,
movie, and then there's like a the
the
return is what
return.
they call it,
Yeah.
like the season 3 that was in
Oh,
2017. But
okay.
it's all so good. I mean, I
Okay.
just that's my favorite thing ever.
Which actually,
Couldn't be honest.
the return is my favorite part because that's all.
Oh,
It's all.
absolutely.
It feels like that's the most Lynchian piece of all of it because he
Hmm.
wrote and directed every episode of that. Whereas in the show, he's kind of in and out. You know, he wasn't always a part of it. So you can definitely
Yeah.
it feels like a soap opera at times, like a kind of shitty '90s soap opera at points in the
Hmm.
second season. You know, but then
Oh yeah.
when Lynch comes back to do the return, it's just like full bore Lynch. You know, it's
Perfect.
great.
Yeah. In the return, like I never thought I'd think that like a 5 minute scene of a man sweeping in a bar was
Yeah,
riveting, but
yeah,
yeah, Lynch can make it interesting.
yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
him a lot. I miss him. It was such a loss when he
Oh
passed
yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got to talk some Lynch on the pod at some point because
I
So
find
we've been.
oh,
Oh, good.
real quick. I find it very interesting the way that Lynch talks about smoking cigarettes. Have you guys seen that? Like it was
Yes.
doesn't he
right.
like love cigarettes?
Well, it was like when everyone knew that he was kind of his emphysema was really getting bad. He made a tweet, I think, that was just like, you know, I've smoked cigarettes throughout my whole life. I always knew that this something like this was a possibility. You know, so I'm basically just embracing the consequences. I've lived a long life loving cigarettes, and this is what happens. And I was just like, that's, you know, it's kind of a morbid outlook, I guess, but it's
Yeah.
also it's kind of interesting too, the way
I
that
don't
he just kind
necessarily
of like
think it's morbid.
yeah, it's like radical acceptance, you know, of your
Yeah.
choices in life. But only he could say something like that. I feel like it's
Oh,
very
absolutely.
very interesting.
It's such
So
a
we've been.
interesting way of putting it as well. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
cigarettes opened my mind. I was like, oh, that's cool.
When I
Someone should have just given him a
transcendental
vape or
meditate.
something.
Mm. Say yeah,
We've been
save
making
Lynch.
a conscious effort on the podcast to kind of be more open about like just kind of who we are. I think towards the
Hmm.
beginning we kind of swayed away from that, right? We kind of just talked the movies and whatever. We're kind of trying to be more open about being YouTubers and like
Hmm.
kind of just more our personal lives. So this is I want to start with you, but I kind of want everybody to kind of go around and answer this question. And it's like if you were given an unlimited amount of money for one project, you don't get the money, just only a project of your choosing, what would it be?
Oh God. An unlimited amount of money.
As much money as you want for one
Megalopolis
Man.
project.
2.
Yeah, Megalopolis too. I'll make it. I'll make it good. Um, man, it's gonna be such a simple answer, but probably just like a film project, just something to get made with like the best actors, the best cinematographer, the best um, score or like score musician, like everything, just to assemble the best team together to make like a really good movie. And like I think with an unlimited amount of money, you could have that movie distributed everywhere. Like it could be in every theater.
Do you have like a
Yeah.
genre if like in mind or like a topic or something you'd want to touch on? Just
I'm such a huge horror fan. I love horror. I want to go back into it because I've kind of like moved away from that with my recent films. Some of my short films I've touched onto horror, but I love like just like David Lynch. That's why he's such a huge inspiration to me. But like dreamy horror, like surrealism, like that's my stuff. I love. And The Substance as well is like another huge like spark of inspiration for me, especially recently. It's because like body horror and like when it's used effectively, like that's really cool.
yeah, Titan was great too if you haven't seen it.
Oh God, that's one of the best movies of the
Was that the
past
same
few
director?
years.
No, different director.
Oh, okay. Just similar.
Also a woman director though.
So all right, I'll go next. I mean, it's really difficult to answer, but I think if I had an unlimited amount of money, I would get with Zack Snyder and have him remake the Snyder Cut, but just
Remake?
remake
Remake it.
just to appease the Snyder Cut fans even more. We could just do
They don't-
you know, with even more, it would be like a 5 or 6 hour cut of the Snyder Cut.
They don't want another cut of the Snyder Cut. They want the rest of his movies that were not going to be good.
Oh yeah, no, even better.
They
would
want
be
the
to
rest
turn,
of the sequels.
to turn the 10-minute Joker thing where he calls Amber Heard a smelly flounder or whatever. Remember that part?
Yeah.
We could turn that into a whole movie. But no, to be serious, I would make an album. I'd be able to pay as many producers and session musicians and just get a really great album together, and then use the rest for marketing and making music videos and stuff. Because that's a huge important part of getting your music out there. So that would be my answer.
Or are you interested in ever going on like tour,
Oh yeah, we've done tours and stuff before. We've
like
done
across
Oh,
the
that's
country?
cool.
We've done up and down the East Coast. We've done a couple times. We never
Okay.
really gone all that far out west, but yeah.
I've heard it's exhausting.
We've never
But
really
fun.
we've done it for like a week at a time, so it's never stops being fun when you're only doing it for a week. But if you're like a real professional musician doing it like for months at a time, yeah, I'm sure it could get really exhausting, and you're probably not eating very healthy either.
Oh no,
It'd be
just junk
difficult
food.
difficult for me as a vegan to really.
Oh man,
because a lot of people when they're doing that just survive on like Slim Jims and shit from the the gas
Monster
station.
Travel food.
Yeah. So.
I'd probably same boat as Jacob. I'd fund some dream film. I don't know what that would be at this point, but I don't know, something like that. Work with everybody else. Be like Willem Dafoe. I don't know what I'm making, but you get your ass over here.
Well,
Absolutely.
Would you hire Zack Snyder as a consultant on the film?
No,
All right.
He could be the
I would
boom
pay him
operator.
to stay off set.
What do you think?
Mine is like oddly.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Good.
Nick. You go. I forgot you didn't.
No, go. Oh, mine's oddly specific, and probably nobody knows what this is. But there's this Japanese game show called Batsu, and basically every New Year there's these 5 comedians, and they basically have this entire giant production, and they create like a giant set for them. And every year there's a different theme. So maybe this year they're all police officers, right? And it's a 24-hour challenge. And the entire time, the goal is they create these like weird instances, and they hire comedians and actors to come in and reenact things to make them laugh. And every time they laugh, they get punished. And be that these little dudes in like black suits coming in and smacking them in the ass with a dildo, or they get like kicked by a Muay Thai fighter, or like a wrestler comes in and slaps them really hard across the face. There's just a ton of like really funny punishments, and they create these like really entertaining situations. And it's every year it's like probably an 8-hour video, like an 8-hour basically session. That's for them 24 hours of no sleep and like just being punished and tortured for 24 hours. And it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I would definitely want to make an American version of it. Like that would be my dream.
Squid Games in real life.
But this time
It's
when
so
they're punished,
funny.
they die.
Oh yeah.
So, American Batsu.
Do you think if you had unlimited money, you could make a Squid Game in real life and just like actually kill people
I mean, Mr. Beast
without
basically
getting in
did it.
trouble?
He basically did, yeah.
Beast Games on Amazon.
That's true.
No,
All right, I got a. We actually do have a viewer question from our fellow YouTuber B Show. He wanted to ask, how did you come up with your setup for the backdrop of your videos?
Oh
You got your little
boy.
VHS TV and all that, and So he was asking about that.
Do you know if he meant like the one I just did recently? Like, because I changed it like 2 videos
I know he
ago.
watched your most recent video.
I think it was
Okay.
the most recent one with the Eraserhead poster and
It's actually kind of just, it's not that interesting of an answer, but so I used to have the sofa chair that I would sit in, and then I had the record shelf right next to it, and then that like lamp by it right next to the window. But then me and my girlfriend just like rearranged the living room so we have more space in there, and then I was just like, well, where we arranged it doesn't look that good, so then we had this blank wall in there, and I was like, well, it's where my movie shelf is, and then we have a poster there and this really cool chair, and then I was like, well, I'll just bring in like my TV for my setup, my PC setup, and then I'll just film out there. I don't know.
Well, it looks great. And
Thank you.
I'm
I have like
surprised-
5 lights when I set up for that. Like it's just there's so much stuff everywhere and wires going all over the place.
No, I mean it shows. It looks really professional. It looks cool, and also, like you said, the adjective you used was laid back, which I definitely got that feeling. It feels like homey. It feels like you're sitting down and being like, all right, this guy's gonna spit some knowledge at me, but I'm gonna feel comfy while it's happening. So that's good. It was surprising that you said I hate everything is one of your biggest influences, because I feel like he's a lot of things, but he's definitely not like cozy or comfy or laid back. He's like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
He's gonna be like, this movie was, you know, like
actually, same thing for Your Movie Sucks. I don't even know like where I got like the comfy aesthetic from. I guess that's just like a part of me. Like that's just like
Yeah,
you're just a chill guy,
laid back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you guys, before we had you on the pod, I even listened to your whole, I'll like turn on a game, and I have like 2 monitors. So I'll be like playing a game, but I want my monitor to not turn off. And I was like, oh, Jacob put out a hour-long physical media collection video. I just turned that on. And I was like,
that's why
it's
there.
Cozy.
Yeah, that's why I uploaded.
All right, we got some rapid fire questions. We had this on the last interview app, and I'm going to keep them going. All right. Who is your favorite actor working today?
Oh man, Willem Dafoe is like one of my favorites. I don't know if that's like a common answer, but Willem Dafoe is like anything that he does is always just fantastic. I don't think I've seen a bad Willem Dafoe performance.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's impossible. What'll never happen.
No.
I'm gonna lose my mind the day he dies.
Oh, I'll sob.
He's getting
don't put
older
that. Don't put that in the universe.
The day
I got a wood desk on
the day Willem Dafoe dies, we all have to go to James Franco's house because he'll show up in his mirror, and then we can talk to him.
Yeah. Willem on the wall.
What is your favorite film of all time? I know this often fluctuates for a lot of people, but you could just say for right now, what is your favorite film of all time?
For right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once, probably.
Okay.
I think because like when I saw that movie, it was like the perfect time because for some reason, I don't even know why, but I was like losing faith in cinema and like movies. I was like, I just haven't seen anything good in a while. And then I drove 2 hours to see it because I think it came out. I don't remember when it came out, but like the weekend it came out, I drove 2 hours away from where I live to go and see it. And it was just so original, so beautiful. It was so moving. Like just every aspect of it was incredible. And I was just so blown away. And I don't know. It's been very important to me. And it like kind of reawakened my faith in movies within the last few
I wouldn't
years.
say it's my favorite, but I had a very similar experience with the movie. It definitely was. I was just like, oh, hell yeah.
I mean,
it makes me ugly cry every time.
Movies
every
are good
time.
again.
That movie is so impressive because it used the multiverse narrative device at a time when everybody was getting tired of it, but it showed you that there's actually a lot of emotional pay dirt if you use that in a way that feels good, you know, instead of kind of gimmicky and like just studio hackery, you know, which is kind of how a lot of these comic book franchises use it.
There's definitely nothing lazy about that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
absolutely
any way, shape, or form.
No. The score in that movie too is just fantastic. I have it on vinyl. Like it's so well done.
Yeah, freaking their other movie,
Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man is amazing too.
That movie's funny. That actually used to be my favorite movie. Like back when that came out, I think it was like 2016.
Yeah, that's the movie that made me. I went back and watched Little Miss Sunshine after I saw Swiss Army Man. I'm just like in love with Paul Dano now.
Paul Dano, yeah.
This is a question for Jacob, but also this is another one for just all of us that I was thinking about. What was the first time we all saw past the quote unquote movie magic and realized, oh, this is just a thing they made?
Like where I saw right through the movie and I was like, oh, this is just
it could be a movie or a show or anything. Yeah, just as soon as you saw past, you like were able to like understand how this came to be, basically. Like you saw past the movie itself and the story and the world and went, oh, that's that's duct tape or something.
I think this might go along with like the reason why I wanted to start making movies. When I was a kid, I saw The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I remember I like recorded it on my DVR, and I was homesick, so I watched it, and just like stop motion in general, it was something where I was like, oh, as like an 8-year-old, I was just like, oh, this is something that you can do. Like this was made with clay. You just move the camera and you take pictures. It's as simple as that. Although stop motion is not that simple and very, very hard to do. That was probably the first time where I was like, oh, like this is something you can do. And like, it was really, I don't know, just kind of eye opening.
For me, it was probably the Harry Potter movies, honestly. Just because I used to read those books all the time, and I just had no conception of like, I mean, I obviously had seen visual effects in movies before, but the first one came out when I was like 8 years old, and I guess it was just because I was like so close to the story emotionally that when I watched them like actually have wand magic and visual effects with the wands and all that stuff and flying on brooms, I was like, wow, this is all done by people that are all making this happen and computers and stuff. It was kind of wild to me. So that.
For me, it was definitely for me it was definitely Kung Pao. Just seeing seeing like, because I like lived in the special features of that movie. I would rewatch the special features like incessantly, and just watching him like green screen himself and like chop up this old like kung fu movie and just insert himself into it and dub everybody over with random things. I was just like, that's insane. Like that's so that he made somebody else's movie into a movie that's very much his own. And that's like, I think the movie that made me want to start making movies, like honestly.
Yeah, that's a very quotable movie. I remember
I've been wanting to watch that for so long. I've seen clips on like Instagram, and it just like it makes me laugh so hard. I need to check that out. I might watch that tonight. Actually,
there's like one of my favorite scenes is where like the baby is lost, like the main character gets lost and starts rolling down a hill, and then this woman walks over, finds the baby, and goes, "Mwah, so cute," and then rolls it back down the hill.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. For me, it wasn't specifically a movie. It was a sci-fi original TV show called Terra Nova from, I think, like 2007 or 8. And I watched it because I was a big dinosaur kid. I love dinosaurs. And it was like the premise was the Earth sucks now, so we got to time travel back to make a colony back when dinosaurs existed. Doesn't make any sense. But I remember it specifically because all the security guards had their like guns, and I remember looking real close and going, wait a minute, that's my Nerf gun I have, and they just painted it black.
Damn.
I went, damn. So that was a
That's
negative
funny.
example of seeing past the movie magic. You all had very positive experiences of seeing past it.
You were pissed off by that?
I was unsure whether it was like a positive or negative connotation that you were saying.
Either one, yeah. You all had pretty positive ones. Mine was just like, I was like, okay.
Well, I think even
like, damn it.
I think even if I noticed that in a movie, I'd be like, okay, they're just like me. Like they're just doing their thing,
Yeah. But I was like 8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you think? Fantastic Planet or Monkey Man first?
Well, I got unless we have another question, I have one final question.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about our podcast's patron saint, Chris Stuckman?
Oh, I love Chris Stuckman.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
don't we all?
You need to get him on the podcast. I believe in
plan.
you guys. You guys will get him in the pod eventually.
We have to say his catchphrase every episode to summon him.
You got to save it to the end, though.
Yeah, we'll save it.
You don't want to Stuckmanize yourself too early.
Damn it, you just did it. All right, yeah, Monkey or Fantastic Planet?
I say let's do the Monkey.
All right, let's get into some monkey madness.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so why'd you recommend, or this was your recommendation, right, Nick? The Monkey?
No. Well, me and Jacob were talking, and we're like, maybe we need another movie to fill this gap just to make sure we have enough to talk about. And he was saying he'd seen the Monkey, and I was like, I've seen the Monkey, so we figured it was a good option.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I really love Oz Perkins. I think I'm the only one on the I don't know how Jacob feels about him, but Ethan and Nick are both like Oz Perkins deniers. They're Oz Perkins truthers.
That's
They
not
don't appreciate
true.
it. They
We
don't
just didn't like
appreciate his work.
Longlegs that much.
Yeah, we just didn't
Yeah.
like Longlegs, and we both said the movie Longlegs looked really nice.
I was like mixed on it.
Well, you didn't like the Blackcoat's daughter either, right?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, maybe this was a Tim. Maybe this was a Tim.
Yeah, I
thing.
think it was a Tim thing.
Anyway, I've loved his work for a really long time. I was really surprised watching this movie, but just like how vastly different it is tonally from everything else he's done before. And I was curious what that was. I mean, I can't tell if he's like if he's responding to the criticism that almost all of his other movies have gotten, that they're very slow and deliberate, like slow burn artsy horror movies that a lot of people, they're not for a lot of people. So I was wondering if maybe this was a intentional kind of response to that, to be like, oh, I'm going to make a really fun horror comedy. I don't know. Do you guys think it should,
felt like he was
do you
either-
think, is this a story he wanted to tell, or is this just like a purposeful change in tone?
I think he definitely wanted to tell the story.
Yeah, it felt like a movie he definitely wanted to tell. I think that, but how far into the like millennial haha teehee humor was him versus the studio is up in the air a little bit. But I definitely think it was a story he wanted to tell.
Right.
I don't know. I thought Oz Perkins was a comedian guy before all this. Am I wrong? Am I
He did
just
a lot of comedy movies, right? Like a lot of rom-coms, something like that. Like he
was an actor,
them.
right?
I remember seeing him act alongside Gary Busey in like a comedy B movie a while ago. But I don't know. This is definitely my least favorite Oz Perkins movie so far. I think partially just because it's not really a kind of genre that I'm super interested in. I don't really love horror comedies. Like, they don't always really jive with me tonally. There are a couple exceptions to that. This one, it was okay. I thought a lot of the child acting, not to, we don't like to shit on children on this podcast, but sometimes it's necessary. And in this instance, it definitely is, because there's a lot of rough child acting, particularly young Petey. I feel like was a little bit precocious. He fit the like the precocious teen trope a little bit too hard when he's talking to the realtor and everything. And I don't know, but
how much of that though was the directing versus the children? Though I don't think the children acting were necessarily the problem. I think it was the tone that he was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a very silly tone throughout the entire movie.
Maybe, but I think it's also just the way the character was written. I don't like when teenagers act smarter than the adults in the room, because that's never the case in real life.
But also that's very Stephen King. Like, Stephen King is also like always kind of has the children as the real people,
see the truth,
and the adults not so much.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
I heard that. I don't know how much different the film is from the short story. I heard it was like a lot different. I think the book was a lot more serious, and then the film was just like, it didn't take itself seriously at all. And to me, it felt like this movie was just like Osgood Perkins just kind of fucking around, just like messing around after like making these dark and gritty, serious horror films. And I know that he thinks a lot of this movie is just like absolutely hilarious. Like the deaths are funny and all that. And they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt like to me that he was just kind of like, let's see what I can get away with and what like silly stuff I could do in this movie with this like Stephen King story.
I will
visual gag.
No, go on, Nick. I've been talking too much. Go on.
No, I was saying the visual gags really worked for me, like in this movie. I think a lot of the like the deaths and stuff, I actually did laugh. But yeah, a lot of the like actual jokes and stuff, it felt too cringy to me. Like, especially like at the funeral and stuff. I was just like, ugh.
You didn't like when he was the handshake scene? The handshake scene really got me when he did it twice.
It's like when
I love that.
It gave me the same feeling as when I sit down and watch like millennial cringe compilations on YouTube.
What about the let's make like eggs and scramble line?
Yeah. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't love that.
Yeah, I liked all the bits with the pastor or the guy.
Oh
at the
yeah,
funeral.
he was funny.
Yeah,
That
the
was fun.
first
He's like,
thing he
"Oh
says,
shit,
yeah, he's like, "Oh fuck."
oh fuck."
Like Jesus said, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is
Yeah,
what it
something like
is,
that.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I was excited because all I went in, I was like, okay, I know this is a goofy horror comedy. That's all I know. I saw someone. I just knew that I knew that there was a lot of just gruesome, like Final Destination level death,
Hmm.
and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go and have a fun time, and I had a fun time. I thought this was funny. I was giggling in the theater the entire time. I was just excited to see how they were gonna blow someone up. I love the fact that I was watching someone dive into a pool that was filled with electricity, and instead of dying any normal way, they just explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it sounds like I'm more overall positive than you are, Nick. I would say I liked the movie.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
I didn't hate it. I just I guess I prefer Oz Perkins when he's extremely dour and everything's depressing. That's how I like my Oz Perkins. But I don't know. This like I said, this movie barely works for me. This kind of this tone, these horror comedy movies. There's a few examples I can think of that do work, but this one it doesn't really come together for me. And it's not necessarily the movie's fault, I would say. It's just like a personal taste thing. But it's all well put together, and you can definitely still see like Oz Perkins movies always look really good. This movie looks really good.
Mhm.
There's a lot of visual expertise, as there always is. I thought Theo James was a really good protagonist. I thought the dual lead parts that he played were really good. Yeah, Tatiana Maslany also was kind of really like a very strange maternal figure in this movie because she
She's
just
Yeah.
just
like
talking about death. She's
yeah
like, everyone dies.
yeah the way that the way she talks about death, she's like a very morbid, kind of aloof mother. That, I mean, if you're gonna have a life like these two brothers have, I guess that's the kind of mom you want to prepare you for it, so that makes sense. But yeah, I'm like lukewarm on it overall.
Mm.
Jacob, what did you think about Long Legs and
Yeah,
this?
you made a review about this.
Yeah, when I saw Longlegs, I really, really enjoyed it. I think that was my most anticipated movie. I think not the most anticipated, but like one of the most of last year. That came out last year, right? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
last
Yeah.
year. Yeah, it feels like forever ago, but um, yeah, I liked it a lot the first time. The second time, I kind of picked up on some more stuff. I thought the ending ended up being like a little bit more goofy and just didn't fit with the rest of the movie. So on a rewatch, I was like, I don't really know how I feel about it now. Whereas the first time, I was just kind of like, oh, it's okay. Like I'm riding with it. It's all right. Um, but with like the monkey, I was also really excited for it, and partially probably because of their marketing. I don't know whoever is marketing Osgood Perkins' movies, but they do a good job. Like
Yeah.
they do a good job at like making it look like really good. The monkey, I was really excited to see because I heard like a lot of critics were saying like the kills were super crazy and all that. And like from the trailer, I was like, oh, all these look really cool and blah blah blah, and they're showing all these deaths. Um, but then like when I saw the movie, I don't know if you guys saw the trailers, but to
I
me,
did.
Yeah.
it gave away so much. Like I was expecting more from what they had shown in the trailer, but I don't know. Like when it ended, I was just kind of like, oh, that's it. Like I thought they were gonna have more explosive, like funny, like crazy kills, but I don't know.
The
Just
ending
to
was
me,
pretty
like from what they showed in the
anticlimactic.
trailer, I was able to like figure out how people were gonna die before I had even seen the movie. And maybe that's just me. But I don't know. I
No, it's
think the
true,
trailers and the
and
marketing kind of dampered my movie
that's why
watching
I liked
experience.
the new Final Destination trailer so much, because they basically just completely give away one kill,
Just one
but it's
scene.
just
Yeah,
one.
that's all.
You
That's
know
all
what I
you
mean?
need.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest hangups with Long Legs itself was that the marketing was so damn good and it
Hmm.
gave away nothing, that it kind of overhyped the film, where I was like, this is going to be so scary
Yeah.
and terrifying, and then you get in there and you're like, oh, it's a crime procedural, with the Nick
Yeah. Yeah.
Cage. Yeah.
It seems like
Um
the reverse with the monkey for me. where they didn't give away anything for Longlegs, but they gave away like 90% of the movie for me with the monkey.
Yeah, I didn't see any trailers for this beforehand. I was like, oh damn, Osgood Perkins has made another one, because it feels like Longlegs came out a few months ago to me.
It's a quick turnaround for him. He made it's like on some Woody Allen shit right now. Just
who does he think he is, Luca Guadagnino?
Well, I think he's actually coming out with another movie, because like at the end credits of The Monkey, he had like a little teaser for his next movie. And I think it's already done. I think it's coming out in like October or something like that.
Studios have been doing this thing. Like they did it with Jordan Peele. They did it with Zach Kreger. And I think they did it with Osgood Perkins, where they basically just give them like a 4-movie deal. And they're like, hey, you're making 4 horror movies. Just get to work.
Yeah, so this would be his third with Neon.
So he's making Keeper, which comes out July. Or wait, no. I don't know. It doesn't say when. But Keeper,
I read somewhere it was like October. But I don't know if that was true.
October Neon.
I'm so excited for Zach Kreger's Resident Evil. I that was so out of left field. I did not expect it.
Because
that's going to be interesting. I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, I made a whole video about like Resident Evil adaptations and why they fail, and I was like, you know who has a movie that feels like Resident Evil? It's Zach Kreger's Barbarian. That feels like Resident Evil. Oh, he's making one. Awesome.
Well, as far as the monkey goes, I feel like he made this movie to appease the Ethans and Nicks of the world who don't appreciate Longlegs for what it is, for how beautiful of a masterpiece that movie. I'm just kidding, but I really do love that movie, and I feel like he's made 3 movies. Well, I mean, he directed Gretel and Hansel or whatever, but he didn't write that one. He wasn't really as involved with the production, it seems, as these movies that are like genuinely his auteur films. But I don't know. I hope that he, I don't want to put him in a box or whatever, but I worry that he let some of the criticism get to his head, where now he feels like he has to make these like off the wall zany movies to prove to everyone that he has a sense of humor or a soul or whatever. And I don't know. I thought his movies before were great. So that's
I think it's just a bit of an overcorrection, because I think he could function in a world where he's sort of like another Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
But I think he just went a little too far into the silliness.
I don't
he
know,
could be experimenting,
Yeah, like I don't know. It maybe it's just like a palate cleanser. He's like, okay, I made a really heavy, dark drama. I'm gonna make a stupid, silly movie about a monkey that kills people.
Yeah, because I mean, were you about to say that Longlegs is kind of funny at parts?
No, I was going to say Longlegs generally
kind of
is like still positive.
I would argue.
Oh,
yeah,
like a couple moments.
I mean, I think that's totally intentional. That Nicolas Cage is supposed to be, ride the line. It's kind of, your mileage will vary on whether you think he's funny or hilarious, but either way, I think the point of the movie is still strong. That he's trying to depict these serial killers as ridiculous and not people that we should, glorify in media, because they are fucking weirdos at the end of the day. Serial killers they're not all like the Zodiac killer, these like fucking geniuses. A lot of them are just fucking weirdos who don't deserve
also the Zodiac killer was just lucky for most of it.
The aspect
incompetent police.
That aspect of it isn't what killed it for me. A lot of it was like just kind of a failure on the like police procedural portion of it, and it was kind of just boring as well.
Yeah, I found it very interesting. I like all that stuff when she's doing work at the FBI, the center for the FBI or whatever. And then there's you start seeing the horns on the walls and everything. It's just like there's this creeping element of the supernatural that comes in. It's just like slowly introduced, and then at the end it's fully supernatural. Like I appreciated that. Also, just the concept of doing the Silence of the Lambs, but Buffalo Bill this time is like a devil worshipping supernatural witch person. Like that's fucking cool. I think I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Gretel and Hansel?
I did, yeah.
No.
I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I remember when I watched it and I was just really like annoyed by it. Like it looked great. The style of it is really, really awesome. But I was just like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like I remember just being like not really blown away by it, other than just how it looked. It's kind of cheesy.
I'm exactly in your boat. I feel like I saw it like when it came out, so I can't really talk in detail about it, but that's exactly how I remember feeling about it, where it's like looks great, nothing really else is really grabbing me. But that's
Just really boring stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
It sucks because
Yeah, I think
everything I've
that's one
seen of
guarantee on all of his movies that they're all going to look really good.
yeah, and that's the thing about Perkins so far for me is it's just so far he's just somebody with a ton of potential, and I just haven't seen it like blossom yet. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He was in this. He was in The Monkey, wasn't he? He was the uncle.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
like,
he played the uncle.
dude.
I liked that a lot. That was
I-
really
That was
funny.
actually pretty funny.
That whole scene where he's just like, your aunt and I, we're gonna. Some people just aren't good at raising you. Aren't great at raising kids, and I'll tell you, are we gonna do a good job? Nope. Or whatever he
He's
said.
like, we're gonna do our best.
Yeah.
It's probably not
Probably
gonna do very
probably
good.
gonna not.
Do you guys talk spoilers at all? Can I like?
Yeah,
go
go
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Okay. But like the moment where I don't remember exactly. It's been like a week since I've seen the movie, but like the hard cut to when they're like turning the monkey key to like Uncle Chip's
Yes.
like in memory of the
Yeah.
funniest
No,
part of the
don't.
movie by far.
Yeah.
That was such a good cut.
And then you get the
the visual
pastor
gags are
immediately being
great.
like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I maybe talked too negatively about the movie. I did have a fun time watching it, you know.
Mhm.
When we're bringing up moments from it and stuff, like I remember really thinking that was funny. So I didn't by no means did I not like it. I did like it. I just
right.
for me it's just I'm more of a fan of his other stuff tonally. That's my
For
main thing.
for me, when I'm looking at horror movies, I kind of look at it like towards the end of the year. I'm like, will I look back at this and think this is like a good addition to horror at the end of the year? And I do think this is one of those. Like, I do think I'll look back on this like fondly as a
Mhm.
decent horror movie for towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
I do agree because I'm a huge fan of like comedy horror, like when it's blended together so well where you can be scared and then laugh your ass off in the next scene. Like I really, really like that. And it's something that I also want to explore in like my future projects. Like there's one I've been working on where I want to do something kind of like The Monkey where it's just super crazy and out there and explosive with blood everywhere. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. And I really think I need to give this movie a rewatch just because I think it would be beneficial. Like I'd end up enjoying it a lot more probably.
So do you guys want to talk about an even scarier horror movie, Fantastic Planet?
Well, let's
Oh,
give our
boy.
ratings first.
Yeah, what are our ratings for The Monkey?
Nick, you first.
I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I'll give it.
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Let's see. Should I go next?
Yeah.
I'll give mine. I'm at a 6 on it too.
Oh yeah.
I was at a 5, but I'm thinking probably a 6, like just down in the middle.
It's
I
so
had fun with it.
I feel
You
like
gave it the highest score of all of us.
Me?
No, Nick talked
was
the
like
most
had
shit.
the
and he
most
gave us the
criticism.
highest
He's like,
score.
I'll give it a 6.5.
That's a funny.
It's like a 9 out of 10.
I need to amend my rating system because I feel like yeah, exactly, things like that happen a lot where I talk a lot of shit about something and then I give it the highest rating. So.
Because for me,
What?
it's like a 5 is a mid movie to me. It's like I'm like
Yes.
equally I dislike it as much as I like some of the elements, and it doesn't really do much for me. Long Legs is a 5 out of 10. But I'm like
Equilaterally
if I had a better time than a negative time, it's a 6, and then it exceeds if it gets better and better.
I'm so tired of the long leg slander. One way
It's
we
because-
have to do an entire long legs episode one time.
That's why we've been trying to
Break
get you
it
on
down.
Letterboxd so you can actually start like testing your waters on having reviews ready. You know,
Oh yeah.
you'll like develop that rating system.
Yeah, maybe that's why you guys are better at Letterboxd. But I've been
Mine's
telling
like a
them
pyramid on Letterboxd. My rating scale.
I just can't have
That's how it
another
should be.
fucking thing that I need to update all the time.
Keep track of.
I have
They
two-
don't
I
have to do everything.
I have 2 bands. I have this podcast. I have a YouTube channel. I can't do
2
another
bands?
things. Yeah,
It's true.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
do it. So yeah,
And I
let's
gotta
do-
run my Letterboxd account.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
job.
It's
Yeah.
too much shit. So yeah, let's get
So
into
Jacob,
Fantastic
it's your
Planet.
movie.
Yeah.
Introduce us into Fantastic
Yeah,
Planet.
what the hell is this?
All right. So I kind of wrote down like a brief plot summary. So
All right.
I recommended, I actually have the criterion with me, Fantastic Planet, 1973, directed by Rene Laloux. Oh, yeah, there we go. Criterion
Yeah.
Bros. But the plot that I wrote was it follows the story of the Drogs, who are blue humanoids that are technologically and spiritually advanced and live on a strange planet. Here they own tiny ohms, which are human beings treated as simple pets and used to entertain drug children, while those who live hidden in the hostile wilderness of the planet are hunted and ruthlessly slaughtered as if they were vermin. So yes, I love this movie so much, and it was between this or Eraserhead that I was going to recommend, and I thought that this would be much more cheerful and much more fun to talk about than Eraserhead. So
it's so cozy.
Yeah.
I was predicting. I was like, I think he's a Lynch guy. I think he'll recommend some Lynch, but it's close. Yeah, this.
I didn't want to put you guys through that.
So how'd you find this movie, or what introduced you to this movie?
Yeah,
this, to me, I was introduced to it by like Letterboxd. Like when I got an account, I looked through. I think this is in the top 250. I'm not sure.
It is. I'm pretty sure.
It is? Okay. So that's probably how I found out about it. And then it's funny because I think this was the first Criterion that I had bought. So with this being my first Criterion and like one of the first movies I added to my watch list on Letterboxd, it was really just like a special experience kind of watching it for the first time and being so blown away by like the animation, the soundtrack and the score, and just everything about it. I mean, this is like top 3 of all time for me. It's one of my favorites. I'm actually really interested to hear what you guys thought of it.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate this movie because I feel like it's a common conversational topic. Maybe when people are high or tripping, it comes up a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's like
yes.
just like sort of the concept of this movie is like, what if there was a highly advanced alien race that somehow came in contact with humans, like if they were extremely advanced intellectually and spiritually, as you say, like maybe they would just treat us as pets or vermin. And, you know, like that's a really scary thought considering the way we treat, you know, sentient life that's not as intelligent as us on this planet. It's something that makes you think about the way we treat those kind of beings on our planet. So, and as like a vegan, that really, it resonates with me because those are the reasons why I became a vegan, because I just couldn't be a part of it anymore. I couldn't be a part of that cycle where we treat everything that's not as intelligent as us like we can just subjugate them and kill them and murder them, you know? So that, I mean, this movie has a lot to say about that. I mean, I think it has a lot to say about the complex relationship that colonized people can have with their oppressors. There's so much going on with this movie, and you know, I'll let you guys give your opinions too, but I agree with you. I really love this movie.
Yeah, I was super into this. It's a unique type of fear because it's more of just a dread, where in that situation, just the simple opening scene of a woman trying to protect her baby as children are just flicking her down a hill over and over again. I was like, damn, this is absolutely horrifying. And they don't even mean to kill her. They just pick her up and accidentally drop her. And they're like, oh no, it's broken. Horrifying.
Yeah.
I specifically really love the way they depict advanced technology because like a mouse or my dog does not understand how a computer works or a TV screen functions the same way, where the main character walks into a room and there are 4 drogs fusing torsos and becoming like liquid.
Meditating.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's just like, it's that like incomprehensible technology is, I think, what really makes it work to me and what makes them feel so scary. And just like a small detail, they don't blink, they just fade into like their eyes turn solid blue. Like they don't have eyelids. I think this is awesome.
I really liked it. I think that a lot of the elements I liked are probably different than things y'all liked. I also don't think that I'm less of an intellectual when it comes to movies. Like I don't look at things for their themes most of the time. I don't really look at like what message is conveying as much as most people, because I don't know. I don't find it to be as important towards my entertainment. So, but there are a lot of elements that I did enjoy. Like I really like the fact that like the humans were able to kind of like comprehend all of the same things as the aliens. I think that like we were sort of maybe not the same level as them intellectually, but given the same resources, we were able to learn and kind of
that was cool.
I don't know, reach the same level. And I also think it made me the things that kind of made me think a lot was like how we were able to, even though we're smaller, to like overpower the aliens. And it's like, why is that, right? Like, is that because we're more vicious of us as a species? Like we are like more willing to do terrible things to them than they are to us.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
underestimating.
Yeah.
Because it like
Yeah.
they were just like, ew, look at all these ohms, let's kill them, and they just start like kind of stomping on them casually. I mean, like imagine if you were trying to kill a spider and all 1,000 spiders were like, you know, fuck this guy, and just jumped on him and climbed down your
That would
throat. And
suck.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
horrifying.
That would ruin my day.
Yeah, if
And
the
I think
animals that we consider to be vermin were sentient in the real world, like yeah, they would. Dude, imagine like I live in New York City. If the rats became truly
Oh
sentient,
man,
intelligent species, like they would take over the city.
you're done.
Yeah,
I mean, they
Yeah.
very well could be. We just don't know. Like, they could be planning something in New York. Like, I don't know.
yeah, they wouldn't be Ratatouille. They would be like ratagenocide. You know, it would be intense. That would be
Well,
it'd be a weirder movie.
I went into the movie like as I was watching the movie, I really thought the movie had like a lot of negative to say about like the human race as a whole. But I just like as I kept watching and like how we were able to like completely like understand their technology and kind of turn it against them. And I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily. Maybe I need to watch it again to understand kind of like where the director stood on the human race as a whole. I think it was kind of mixed, right? So I don't know. I feel like I got a lot out of the movie, and it made me think about stuff more than I normally would watching a movie, and it was really nice to look at.
I mean,
yeah.
I think ultimately he's trying to put the drugs in the position of humans. Like if you're going to transpose this movie and
Mhm.
each group onto, you know, actual real life species on Earth, I think the drugs are us, and the ohms are all the other creatures on the Earth that we subjugate. That's what I was thinking of it as. You know.
Yeah, because
That
wasn't
makes sense.
I think was this based on someone else's like artwork or something? JB, you know more about this movie
I
than I
don't.
do.
I don't know if it was based on anything. Wait, was it?
Okay.
I actually don't
He
even
might
know.
have been the art director. I know he's worked specifically only on animated films.
But yeah,
Say his name.
one of my favorite parts about the movie was it was the, you know, when Terror brings the necklace into the like under that, you know, shelter where all the other ohms, the wild ohms, are living, and they so like there's a section of them that want to get the knowledge from the drugs, but then there's other ones that are like, no, they've been killing us, like we can't actually accept this knowledge, that's evil knowledge. I think that's a really interesting thing. It's like it speaks on like the complicated nature of colonialism, because, you know, for all
Mhm.
the harm that colonialism does, there are also things that the colonizers bring to the people that are being colonized that is useful to them in the long run. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
that push and pull between oppression and actually bringing new ideas, new concepts, new technologies to people that didn't have it before, even though they are oppressing them. So it's that was really interesting to me. I've never actually seen that commented on before in a film, which I was really
Yeah,
liking that.
the most unrealistic part of this movie, it was the fact that we were able to fight back and make a treaty to where we were in peace.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
The
yeah,
realistic ending would be
yeah.
we were all killed.
yeah.
That part
That's
is really weird to me, especially because like the way the movie ends is it just like kind of like ties up really
Yeah.
quickly, strangely quickly. Like the movie's 70 minutes, but they rushed it at the end somehow. It is
that's
kind of weird how
exactly
they
what I
were
was
just
gonna
like,
say.
and then they had a treaty and everything's good now. I'm like, oh, okay.
I like this movie's really short. It was only like less than an
It's
hour
like
20,
55
Oh, it's a
minutes.
breezy like 70
and
minutes. It's really nice.
Oh.
but like I was really really hoping, and maybe this is just because it's a product of the time, or maybe it's because it's a French movie. I don't know, but I really like the movie. I kept comparing it to in my head was just straight up the Planet of the Apes. Like I was in
Planet of
my
the
head,
Apes.
I was making these comparisons, and I was like, I really really hope this like gives us a big reveal and like ends on a cliffhanger. Like that's all I wanted. I wanted a big reveal, end on cliffhanger, and then they like get to the statue thing, and then like everything just gets. I feel like I didn't need as much explanation as it gave me, and I didn't need everything to be kind of tied up with a little bow. You know, that's kind of my biggest flaw with the movie, because everything leading up to it was great.
That is one thing I'll say, like considering how experimental the movie is, you know, from a visual standpoint, it definitely it's a very straightforward narrative story at the end of the
Oh
day.
yeah.
You know, it's not super weird or experimental with the narrative, which is kind of nice. You know, it's sort of not really what I was expecting, but I will say just, you know, the creativity that made this movie come into life is just unreal. Like think about all the different kinds of alien life that you get to see on this movie. One of my favorite things is like when they're all making fun of Terra for having the you know, the way the Drogs dress him up as like a little court jester, and then they, you know, they take off his clothes and they bring him into this field with all these little kind of weird snail-like creatures that are like
They're like
bubbling
silk
stuff.
slugs or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly, silk slugs. And then he's standing in a, you know, just in a circle with them, and they just make him fucking like a little frock. It's like, it's like
It
so
felt
cool.
very,
Yeah.
it felt very like Terry Pratchett, like Monty Python, like
Yeah.
just like with all the animation and like interesting visuals they had.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was the tech and the weirdness of this whole movie is kind of what I truly imagine the Dune books to be like. It's like it's a little
Yes.
weird.
Yeah.
Where as much as I love the Denis Villeneuve films, they are a bit too. How do I make this make
Grounded.
literal sense? Yeah, they're a little too grounded feeling
Yeah.
for my personal preference. Whereas I'm like, this is like something you would see in the Jodorowsky's Dune that never got made.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm incredibly surprised that this has not had a live action, like at least
I was
planned yet.
I would
was
hate to
joking
see
about-
that though. Like I don't know. Something about like cuz this film, I don't know if you guys knew this. I found this out like within the last few years, but this film is stop motion. Like it's cut out like hand
Oh,
paper,
shit.
yeah, like stop motion.
Wow.
Something about
Really?
it
That's
is
awesome.
just like there's just such a wonderful charm, like in my opinion, with it, and it's so beautiful. And just to see like a giant CGI, I don't know, Drog would be really, really weird. It would take away that like magic for me.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
imagine like have you guys seen The Green Knight, the David Lowery film?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I think he could do something pretty cool with something like
He
this,
could, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
With the Green Knight and the Giants, that's kind of the vibe I got from that when I saw it.
Yeah, because I mean, The Green Knight is basically like hipster Lord of the Rings, you know. So
Absolutely,
like,
yeah. That's the best way to put it.
If this
The
was
only
in
person-
his hands, you know.
The only person I could imagine doing it would be like Terry Gilliam, and he's getting too up there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Put some Time Bandit style to it, you know, make it interesting.
I mean, I feel like whoever made I'm not even familiar with the director of this movie, but I feel like if they, you know, I think they have some knowledge of what UFOologists actually think about what aliens are, because a big part of, you know, alien lore is that they blend spirituality with technology, which is exactly what these aliens do. Like they're very interested in consciousness. They meditate. They think of like our bodies are just vessels for consciousness. So like the way that they are able to meditate and leave their bodies and go other places and commune with other beings and stuff, like I don't know. I'm a big alien person, so I believe that they actually can do that stuff, like whatever aliens are out there. I don't know. I thought that was really, really cool. Like so much about this movie just felt like, I mean, I had seen it before a couple of years ago, but it just feels like a lot of what I imagine aliens to actually be like just put into a movie. So I love this thing.
Yeah, and they have like the drog politics or whatever. They have like that council of people with the audience. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. The world
Giant
building
TV
in it is
screen.
just really, really well thought out and just super cool. And like you guys talk about the technology a lot. It's like just so original, which is weird because it's like it came out in the 70s. Like it's weird that how a movie that old just feels like so original today.
Yeah.
Actually, I also did look it up. It is based on a science fiction novel, French science fiction novel. I didn't even know that. But that's like I'm just finding out about that for the first time.
Something that made me laugh. You know that little like it was like a I don't even know what it was. It was like a little thing that was in like a tree cave, and it just grabs the birds and throws them on the ground.
And he's like,
laughs his little ass off.
Oh yeah.
I was literally dying.
It's like so violent, but just like hilarious all at once. It's like
Yeah,
comes
it's
out of
got a very
nowhere.
matter-of-fact violence. It's kind of creepy to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's like what nature really feels like, you know? Like none of it
It's
is
unforgiving.
Absolutely.
like nature isn't malicious, it just is, you know. It's
Mhm.
unforgiving, exactly. Like they show that there's an egg, a little like lizard gets born, and then a swirly hippopotamus pig starts licking him, and
Swallows it.
the lizard's really happy to be licked. He's like, "Is this my mom?" And then the thing just eats him and walks away. And that's the scene.
Yeah, that's it. And it moves on.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's just
it's
oh, go on, Ethan. Sorry.
no, you're good. I hate to interrupt.
No.
No, it like honestly, because like so much of the first half is like they don't understand any of the tech, and then that goes into like how frightening living in that world would be, where they were just like guy
Yeah.
standing next to a crate tapping his hammer on it, and he's like, "Don't!" And then he
It
just
just
gets
swallows him.
disintegrated into a tiny cube. I'm like, what is he gone? Is he teleported? Was he crushed? I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem to think he's gone.
The funniest
The
thing
whole
I was
resistance
thinking
started.
the funniest thing I was thinking about watching this was just like there must have been so many fucking dudes in 1976 just being like, "Yo, you got to see this movie," and we'll just take like a ton of mushrooms. Like how many fucking stinky acid mushroom parties there were watching this movie in the 70s, you know? Like groovy.
It's still probably
groovy
going on
wallpaper.
today. There's
Oh,
still
yeah,
probably
for
a lot
sure.
of people doing that and watching this.
For sure.
Well,
First-
Nick, last
I would
episode,
never.
I asked you, I was like, what would be the, would this be a really bad movie to trip on, like hallucinogenics? And you said very much bad.
Yeah, I personally would not want to watch this movie. It's too real. I mean, it's incredibly fantastical, but it's also just very real too. There, I mean, just the dynamics between the drugs and the ohms. It has a lot of real life parallels, and that would
Mhm.
make me feel uncomfortable, I think, because it just lays it all out bare. Like it's not dressed up at all. It's like
Yeah.
we're gonna treat you as pets the second that you stop entertaining us or become a nuisance to us in the slightest. We're gonna kill you. You know?
Yeah.
I think by the 13th rewatch though, you should be good to watch it tripping on.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. I just checked today because I rewatched it today before we did this. This is my 14th time watching it, and I guess
Oh,
it is because of how short it is. It's just so easy to throw on.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
for me. That's just me though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was good. I expected to not like it because it's like French.
Yeah.
You don't like French
Oh,
movies?
God.
Not a lot of the time. And then sometimes
love
I'll
You
get
didn't like
surprised.
Climax?
The French are so
These
weird,
boys-
man.
These boys hated Climax.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Climax
hated
is the
it so
best.
much.
I hate a climax.
Hell yeah.
It's
so much.
traumatizing. I've never seen it more than once, and I don't think I ever will. But it is a very good movie.
It's traumatizing
You know
on
what's
like a filmmaking standpoint.
You know, it's funny, like as an dumb American guy, like when you watch as like alien species speak in English, you're like, okay, this is normal. Like, of course they would speak in English. But then when you watch them
Yeah.
speak in French, you're like, why the fuck are all these aliens French?
Sacre bleu.
Like, why are they French?
Yeah, it's like, why
Sacre,
would
I am blue.
we're
you
the
guys
center of
watch
the
it?
universe? Like, yeah.
Did you guys watch it in the original French, or did you watch the
Yeah.
dub
I watched it
the original
subtitled.
French.
in French?
Oh, there's a dub
Yeah.
version? Is it bad?
Is the dub
No,
good?
actually, I've seen both versions. I mostly go for the French because it's much better. But I think at least the Criterion, maybe even like HBO Max. I know it's on HBO Max, has like the English version of it. And like the only reason why I would throw the English version on is if I'm like doing laundry or something and I just have to like listen to it and I can't read the subtitles. That's the only reason why I would do it.
On
But
a
it's not
14th
bad.
watch
It's
of
like the
this
same
movie, you don't
Have you
know how to
seen any of
speak
his
French
other
right now?
movies?
I haven't seen any of his feature films. They're in my watch list, but he has two short films that are actually on the Criterion. The Snails and Dead Times. I don't
Les
if you haven't seen those, I would recommend them. They're like, I think they're like about 10 minutes long each, and they're just like pretty short stories. I don't know, but the other two films I need to see from him. still.
So one question, I mean, you've seen this 14 times. You could probably answer this. Do you know? I remember like they were talking about how they went to Earth and picked up the humans that they call ohms. Like, do you remember why they did that, or like what reason?
It said there's like a catastrophe level event or something.
I think so. I think that might be the reason.
Basically, Earth was like the Earth was like killing. Like, they killed themselves somehow. I think is basically what happened.
Oh, and
I don't know if it's like pretty vague in the movie, or they don't like really touch on it a whole lot.
Like they were in the kind of Senate. They looked like there was like a Senate or congressional room or whatever. Which I was just thinking of Palpatine being, I am the Senate. I don't know why, but
I am the drug.
Yeah. They were showing images of the Earth that looked like it was from like the Industrial Revolution. Like it was not modern to 1976 because they were like, they have some capability to some technological capabilities, but then they're just showing like broken railroads and there was no real electronics. Yeah. Nothing crazy. So it was like they must have taken the humans from Earth at a time when they nowhere near as technologically advanced as even we were in the 70s, which I thought was pretty interesting. But somehow they figured out how to make a satellite by the end, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I would love
build a planet.
I'd love a modern day version of this movie where they go, look at what these humans have been able to make, and it's like a bunch of shitpost memes, like Shrek memes and stuff.
Yeah. It's like the Shrek 5 teaser where he's scrolling through the Shrek meme TikToks.
Oh, we never talked about that.
We can talk about that today.
What, Shrek?
How hyped are we for Shrek?
Have you seen the trailer?
No, I haven't seen the Shrek.
Watch the trailer right now.
Watch it.
Just look up screenshots and you
don't even need to watch it.
Yeah.
Is it like an actual trailer? Or is it?
It's an actual teaser.
It's like a teaser. It's like 20 or 30 seconds long. They did a bunch of character redesigns and everyone's big mad.
It looks like absolute dog shit.
So they just put this out. Oh, they're showing all the Shrek memes.
Yeah. They had to address it somehow. Yeah. They're like, look, guys, we understand. We're hip.
Okay, before we get into that, let's give our rating. But Jacob, you go first on this one.
Oh, it's a 10 out of 10. Look, hold on. I was willing to show this eventually. I have the soundtrack on vinyl as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that looks like I'm a huge fan of this movie. I just need to get a poster for it. I need to
looks like a radio. It looks like a Radiohead album cover. It's awesome.
It does, yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, so awesome. I would give it. Yeah, they look like Vaporeons. They look like human Vaporeons, like
drugs.
Oh, they do.
Oh yeah, they do actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 8.5 on this.
I wrote a review about when I first watched this yesterday, and I gave it an 8 out of 10 then. But just talking about it now and thinking about it again, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
It's really good, and I want to rewatch it at some point.
It's really good on the 14th rewatch.
I'll get up to there.
My score is lowered a little bit just because I feel like the ending was a little bit rushed. That's my main critique of it. But
I'm at an 8 on it for the exact same reason. It's just like the ending didn't hit as hard as I would have hoped, but I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about Shrek's ass or whatever.
Well, hold on. So you were talking. So I love this movie Stone Cold. It's this shitty 1990 action movie, and I have every release for it. I have it on VHS.
Oh shit!
I have it on Laserdisc.
Oh my god!
I have every copy of Stone Cold.
I have it engraved on a stone cave wall.
Check out Stone Cold, everybody. It's
you have a Stone Cold tattoo. You got to get that.
I should
just get like the DVD disc art. Just like. I don't know.
I will. Now I'm going to. Now I have to.
Yeah.
Brian Bosworth, the GOAT.
Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, so watching that Shrek trailer, just a couple seconds of it, it reminds me of the way like brands will try to interact on social media. And
yeah.
They just Wendy's. Got like some fucking.
Can we do a dab, everybody?
Yeah, they have like some 21-year-old intern behind the typing all the shit up. And it's just they're just trying to sound hip and like in with everything, like they're not a giant fucking mega corporation, I always hate that.
Yeah.
Like they're talking down to you almost
like a boss from Wendy's.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Or like
do y'all think we're looking at a Sonic level redesign? situation?
No,
I don't think
it's
they're going
not
to do
that bad.
anything.
I think
Really?
that honestly, most of the designs, I'm like, listen, it's like just a bit different for me. Where I'm like, I don't love it, and I kind of
hmm
the thing about the Shrek's original designs is that they are bad, but that's
They're
kind of the
ugly, yeah.
point.
But they
Yes.
they
It was
kept
kind of the
but they
point.
did improve them as they went on. And
Yeah, they got
also
more like
kept,
textured and stuff.
but that's part of the charm, is it not?
They turned the comments off on this video.
They did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
genuinely think they're gonna redesign it. I think they're gonna change it.
Wait, what?
I think they
I'm
might
sorry.
tweak
What's
it,
so
but-
different about Shrek? He looks the same.
Look up
His eyes are like too
comparisons.
close
His
together or
face is
something like that.
His eyes are way bigger now. His nose is smaller. The biggest redesign that I dislike was probably
Fiona.
Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio too.
Pinocchio, they made him like real round and like chunky.
Yeah. Same
I don't
goes
know.
for like Donkey and Fiona. Fiona, I don't know what they did to Fiona. I feel bad. Like they
I hate
changed
it.
a lot of the designs.
And I'm also I've been on the Zendaya hate train since the first episode of this podcast. I'm so sick of her.
She's in
I'm
this.
so
Who's
sick
she?
of her.
Who's she voicing?
She's the daughter.
daughter.
She's Shrek's
The-
daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, she's like the
It's-
Shrek has an e-girl daughter. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alt e-girl daughter.
That's
It's
crazy.
I
funny
mean, it
because-
doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
I've seen a lot of like posts on Instagram where people are basically just like posting what they think the movie's gonna be, and like I feel like it's exactly gonna end up like how they say. Like they're like, oh, Shrek and Fiona's daughter is gonna like
Get an
want to
OnlyFans.
run away or something, or run away, and then she'll go find a human and fall in love with him, and then blah blah blah, and Shrek's gonna be like, no, we have to go and stop her from getting married or whatever, and then Fiona's like, don't lock her up in her tower like you did with me or something like that, or like how I was. And I was just like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like I read the whole movie script in like a comment section.
My thought was that she would not want to be an ogre, and she'd try
That's
to find a
probably
way to
how
be
it's
human.
gonna be. Like she's like, I wish I was never an ogre.
It's gonna be an allegory for accepting your child or something.
Yes.
It's gonna be like, I'm
That's
gonna
what they're
become
gonna
a
do.
human, and then Shrek's gonna be like, I love you no matter what.
Guys, I gotta say, in terms of the character designs, I feel like this is kind of a mountain out of a molehill situation. They don't look that different to me. I gotta
They
look
look a lot different.
I gotta
to
look
me.
at Fiona but I mean Shrek. There's some minor differences, but it's not like he looks like he aged. This is new Shrek.
Well,
It's
I
just
mean,
prettied up too much.
His eyes are a bit bigger. They're closer up together. His nose is no longer super ovular. It's more of just like kind of a big mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's kind of got more of a what would you say, like a Disneyified version, like compared to their older, very gross
Yeah.
versions.
I think it's like, because I think I heard somewhere that Universal Illumination teamed up to work on this, and like that's
It does
exactly
look
what it looks like.
Illumination.
It looks like
Yeah, you're right.
Shrek done by Illumination, and I absolutely hate Illumination. Like their style is just like
Lazy.
corporate,
There is no
bland,
style.
boring, simple. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Which is why all
Yeah.
their movies are way cheaper compared to other animated
Yes,
films.
100%. And then they make $1 billion.
Let's put our guesses. Who thinks full reanimation on this?
I don't.
Just
think
me?
they're gonna redo the
I think they're gonna
designs.
double down and do nothing. They're just gonna like release it as is. They're gonna be like, well, we
Okay.
don't care.
I think the designs are fine. I really don't. They don't bother me enough. I don't care if they're different. For me, I'm more concerned about how much of a focus of them trying to be like the "Hello, fellow kids, how do you do?"
Yeah, I hope they
here's
don't
some memes.
way into that.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
that's
curious.
true.
Is that
Yeah.
is the controversy the character design or the memes?
That's the big thing.
That's
it's
both.
it's mostly the character designs. That's what everyone's hung up on. But for me, it's the memes part is my concern. I'll get used to the designs. You throw out a few more trailers.
I think it's just
we'll
rough
settle
that whenever like they release a trailer and most people have already kind of written it off. Like I feel like they have to do something. Like they're gonna have to release a new trailer that like really changes the tone or something at the very least.
Yeah, it comes out in July or something, right? This year?
yeah. It's
I don't-
Is it
isn't
this
two
year?
things?
I don't.
Is it
Or
that
is it next
soon?
year? I don't know.
I think it's next
I don't-
year.
It's 2026.
It's
July.
December
It is next
of
year,
yep.
2026.
yeah, they
God
have
damn.
they have
Oh
time
yeah,
to
Christmas. Sorry.
scrap this and start over.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Scrap
I'm
it.
I'm not too offended by like the meme aspect of it. I mean, like it was a little jarring to see him scrolling through TikTok, but
Mirror talk.
I mean, Mirror Talk, yeah. I mean, it wasn't super bad to me because like I know Shrek has always been like
It's always been
It
a
has
pop
it's a
modern
culture.
pop
references.
culture. They're making fun of the current pop culture. Like they're gonna do that in this, like they
Yeah.
did it in the past ones. It's just like a little dated now, but you know they're
Yeah, there
gonna
are.
they're gonna do something
There
with
are.
like TikTok or whatever.
They're gonna
or
have-
influencers. It's gonna be annoying, but
They're gonna have Ice Spice cover. Now I'm a believer. That'd be sick.
oh god,
I've never really looked into the writing team behind Shrek. Has it been the same throughout?
I don't know.
I'm curious to see. I'll look that up.
I actually,
It's
so
Lord
I
Miller.
I really like
Yeah.
Shrek.
Are they doing the new one actually?
No, just kidding.
I don't think so.
That'd be sick.
I've always had a soft spot for the original Shrek, but I don't know if you guys agree, but Shrek 2 is like the best Shrek movie. Just
I'd argue
not
it's
only
one of the
is it such a-
best animated movies.
it's
Shrek
so
2 is really
good.
good.
Shrek
I
3
honestly-
is horrible.
Shrek 3 sucks.
I didn't hate
yeah.
it. I didn't hate
Shrek
it as
4
much. I mean,
is surprisingly
it was
not
definitely
bad.
more of a
Yes.
kids movie. I think they all kind of simplified it and made it less fun
Yeah,
for the
Shrek
whole
3 felt
family as they went
lazy
on.
to me and like paint by numbers.
Wait, so you guys like Shrek more than Toy Story?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm just not a big
I wouldn't
Toy
say
Story
it's
guy.
better, but I would rather watch Shrek.
Yeah, I think Toy Story is good, but I feel like I would put on Shrek 2 over like Toy Story 1 through 3 any day. But Toy Story 2 is like really good. I think that's probably the best one, if not 2 or 3, probably.
Toy Story 2 is the problem with Toy Story movies is like even though they're kids movies, they're kind of heavy. Like
They
I have to
are,
sit down and
yeah.
like they kind of make me feel things, and I don't always want to feel things.
I
don't
remember I
wanna
caught
feel
my
it.
dad sobbing at Toy Story 3 one time, and I was
Bro,
like, yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
I
get
feel
your
you.
ass.
that was one of the first movies I actually cried at in theaters. Whenever they're all like in the incinerator,
yeah.
I literally was just fucking. It was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the pranks where people edit that movie to like just end right there
Yes.
and they show their parents?
That is so good.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'd rather have a Shrek 5 over Toy Story 5 at this point.
But we're getting
I
both.
don't know. But
I don't want
Unfortunately.
both, but yeah, because I saw Toy Story 4 and I saw a bunch of people were hyping that up, like this is actually really good, and I just felt like I wasted my time.
The one thing about
Yeah.
that movie though is that the animation is like
so good.
gorgeous. Like it
Yeah,
borderline like realistic footage at times. Like it just looked
Wait, is that the
insane
one
to
with the
me.
spork? The fourth one?
yes,
Yeah.
Forky.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some moments in that one where I'm like, wow, it looks really
I still
good.
think it was good. I think it's like for a fourth movie in an animated movie series, it's still good. You know,
Mhm. It's forgettable though to me. Like I don't remember anything
Yeah.
from it.
I just remember the fork
That's
When did-
like I
and,
just
uh,
remember
Ke- and-
that.
and Keanu Reeves.
What year?
Yeah,
did,
Key and
I
Peele
just
in it.
forgot about that too. I remember that just now.
what year did
Forgot
that one
about
come
it.
out? The fourth one.
That was like
Was that
2021.
2019?
It was 4 years ago.
Oh damn! I didn't even
2019
realize they were
probably?
still making these things. I think the last one I saw was 3, and I saw it like 15 years ago. I don't really remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would just stop at 3.
But I heard Toy Story 5 was going to be centered around like toys versus like iPads or technology. So I'm like,
oh,
I don't know.
yeah,
It
that
could
was
be
the-
an interesting idea, but I don't know. I just hope they execute it well. Like we don't need
Oh,
a
these
fifth
kids
Toy
are on
Story
their
movie.
phones nowadays.
What do y'all
On the
think
damn
about, like, this-
Cocoa Melon iPads?
What do y'all think about like the surge of like YouTube animation channels lately? Have y'all seen like any
No, I
of
haven't
these channels
noticed
popping
the
up?
surge.
Or like Meat Canyon.
Oh,
Oh, I love Meat
well,
Canyon.
Meat Canyon, and then there's a new one that I've been watching called Nobi One, and
Nobi one.
if you watch his like Restful Cube video, it's really good. He has this very cool aesthetic with his videos, but there's a bunch of like interesting YouTube animation channels out there that have been pumping. Oh, and what's his name? Have y'all seen the one where like everybody's chanting and he's like headbutting people in the river? Drew Langlois. His channel's really good too.
I don't know.
The Minute Hour.
I haven't seen a lot of
yeah.
animation channels on my feed.
Mm-mm.
I've seen
Anybody
one,
out there check out the? Oh, good.
I've seen one animation channel that does the guy does a lot of different stuff. It's like 3D animation plus rapping and producing plus like AI voice manipulation. So he'll get like, Harry Potter and Hagrid to do a rap together, and then he like makes them like dance and shit. It's pretty funny. I love that shit.
I don't know what's that. The movie that was up for the Oscars.
Flow.
Flow.
The flow. I'm pretty sure that guy was pretty regular on YouTube doing Blender videos before his film.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the YouTube to movie deal pipeline is real. So
it's true.
I think we'll see
It's
in our
promising.
lifetime. We'll see a director from who was a YouTuber win Best Picture at some point in our lifetime.
Markiplier.
Well,
or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I don't know.
what's the team that did them? Is it not them? But what was the YouTuber?
the monkey paw.
Oh
No,
no,
the
no,
one
no!
with the,
You're
let,
talking
let
about
us in. Let me in. Let me in.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's the monkey paw.
They were
one.
like really. Oh really? Wait, is there a monkey paw?
Yeah, they get like the monkey paw, and they get possessed for
I
a
remember
second.
there was like a seance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that movie was pretty solid, and they were pretty popular YouTubers. What were their names again? I
Let
don't
Me
remember.
In. Are you...
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
are you talking about Raka Raka?
yeah,
Yeah,
Raka
Raka
Raka.
That's
Oh,
that's
you're
what I was
talking
going to bring
about
up.
Talk to Me.
Yeah, Talk to
Talk
Me
to
and
Me.
Raka Raka. I grew up
They
watching
have a new
them.
movie. They just released their teaser for the new movie. It looked really good too.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
that's a good teaser.
I thought they were doing.
That gives away
I thought
nothing.
they were doing Talk to Me.
They're
Talk
doing
to
that.
it.
They're doing a lot of different movies right now.
It's pretty impressive how like solid their debut was.
Oh, they're
Oh,
great.
yeah,
That's
Talk to Me.
They were
Solid.
great,
That-
like short film YouTubers. Like their action. Like I don't know if you've seen any of their like Ronald McDonald stuff that they
Oh
would
yeah,
do. Like
classics.
just well shot, well edited, just really good stuff. Yeah.
Something I've noticed a lot is because there's a lot of directors that I feel kind of take a few films to kind of get going before they like really kind of hit their stride. But it seems like a lot of the time with like horror directors, they kind of start off like running, right? Like the Talk to Me guys,
absolutely.
Rock or whatever. Then
Barbarian,
Jordan Peele's
too.
first film was amazing. Barbarian was amazing. There was another one I saw recently. His directorial debut was really good. I forgot what it was, but I don't know. It's kind of wild how like horror directors kind of just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it going from comedy to such a different thing like horror seems to be easier than going from horror drama to making a straight up comedy.
But even the movie that we watched in our last interview episode, Krisha, like that was a really solid directorial debut too.
yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen that, Jake?
Trey Edward Schultz.
I haven't. I think I looked into it. What was the director for that?
Trey Edward Schultz. He made It Fall.
Oh,
He
yeah.
made It Comes at Night and
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
So it was
I do
his
like
first
It Comes
feature.
at Night. I know a lot of because people don't like that, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah,
when
I like
saw
it too.
I was
I think you'd
surprised
like
whenever
Krisha.
somebody said that. I didn't think so many people were on the fence about it.
It's because they thought it
saw
was going to
that
be like a
it was
monster
falsely
movie or
advertised,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
I saw
like,
that
'cause
all the trailers imply there was a monster, and it's like not about that.
Nope,
I
it's
don't think
just,
there's
like,
ever been a movie
COVID.
I've seen handle darkness as well as that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Like,
like
he
really
needs to make-
dark. Yeah, like really dark shots.
Like he could make a Metro movie, like Metro Last Light or whatever, Metro 2033
Metro
or
X.
whatever it is.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. And then he's directing the the Weekends movie. Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Oh shit. Really?
The Weeknd has a
that's
movie?
right. That's his
Yeah, the
next
Weeknd's
movie.
big. He's like
Yeah.
a big actor now.
May
I know he was in
16th.
Uncut Gems. as
Can I
the
just say I
asshole in
don't
the
think
bar.
The Weeknd is a good actor. I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong with this new movie, but the Uncut Gems and The Idol, no, he's got to.
He hasn't impressed me.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean,
just my
I don't
hot
think he
take.
needs the money, so I think if
I
he
don't know.
sucks bad enough, he'll probably disappear.
I think he's passionate about movies, so that's why he wants to dive into it, which I can respect for that. But
But the Idol was a tough watch. It was just very.
it is,
very,
yeah,
Like you
Very
need a
brutal.
shower after watching that shit. It's kind of gross.
yeah. Or
He just
cleanse
plays
your
Surreal's
eyes.
fa-
really
He plays such a scumbag in that movie. It's so. I mean that show. Ugh.
Mhm.
because Lily Rose Depp, she kind of redeemed herself with Nosferatu after that.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, yes, yeah, big time. She was fantastic.
Surreal's
in
favorite
that.
musicians turned actor.
Mm,
Musician turned
There's
actors.
another pipeline, yeah.
Adam Sandler.
Music to cinema.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Yep, there's another one.
Well, I mean,
I don't
that's a
even know.
lie.
I think he. I mean, he was doing music before he was acting. I think, or was it concurrently? I don't know.
It was
Probably.
concurrently.
I think
he did
was.
stand up. He did stand up while he was doing, but he was never really an actually musician. Like he would do like street performance stuff.
Oh, you know Kendrick Lamar. He's not like a. He's never really done a big role yet, but he has a couple roles that you can search up on YouTube. He was in like 50 Cent's Power series. He's a really good actor, Kendrick Lamar. Actually,
Wasn't he in He was in like a cameo in Atlanta, that show.
Oh,
I think
was
he
he?
appeared
Oh,
for like
okay.
a scene or something like that. He played like a homeless guy, and then he just like walked away after that.
Yeah, no,
I
I
might
think
be getting that wrong.
you're thinking of what I'm thinking of, Power, because he plays a homeless guy in that.
Power, okay.
Yeah. He plays.
Oh, I have seen that clip. Yeah, he's really good.
Plays up against 50 Cent. He just rides up on a bike and
Yeah.
tries to sell him shit, and he's a crackhead.
That's right.
Pretty funny.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is probably the violent, racist Mark
Morrissey?
Wahlberg.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark,
Yeah, that's a good choice.
the guy who could have stopped 9/11 if he was on the plane.
Yeah, if only he
Yeah.
was there. it
He'll
would've gone
never-
down
only he was
differently.
there.
He'll never live that down. That's I think that might be the funniest thing anyone's ever said.
Have
Just-
you
he's
guys
just such
seen
a
his
bullshit.
Instagram? That is like, it is like always the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's just like,
Yeah.
if you need
His,
a good
like,
laugh, check out
fitness
his videos, because he's like, we're up early in the morning, time to get that
Like
work
up at
in.
4 a.m.
Yeah, we're up at 4 a.m.
Go to-
Let's get that work in.
Oh,
Pray for
man.
3 hours.
Stay prayed up.
Yeah, pray up.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
My movie theater, I sent them a group chat photo when I was at the Monkey, because I always get the same ad of Mark Wahlberg being like, "How's it going, everybody? My new whiskey," and he's like clearly looking off to the side reading a script. "This thing is so great and full of rich nutrients, and it's just got that great flavor. Stay prayed up."
So he's just like
Surprised he wasn't selling his sports clothes or something like that.
he's like a rise and grind, like Sigma grind set guy, Mark Wahlberg.
He is.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
100%.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
he was in The Happening. That was a real role for him.
I love that movie so
That's
much.
his best performance by far.
All right, you guys wanna wrap it up here?
Yeah, I think Nick, you were right. You called me out last time. It is your recommendation.
I told you.
I was wrong.
I have two potential options. So
Okay.
they're both actually David Lowery movies. Have you guys seen A Ghost Story?
No.
Yes. I love it.
Have you seen The Green Knight?
I've seen Green.
I've seen both.
All right, so let's do the one that at least Ethan hasn't seen. So let's do A Ghost Story.
Ghost Story is so good. I'm
Awesome.
actually excited.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Jacob, thank you so much for guesting on this pod. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Do you want to just let the audience know where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Keep up to date with all of you and your work.
Yeah. If you like funny, goofy, silly movie content, then follow me at youtube.com/Jakob Ross. That's Jacob with a K. And then I have an Instagram account, which I post pretty regularly on, and that's just Jakob Ross Film Guy. Just one big thing. But yeah, I don't think I have any other socials. I don't have like a Twitter or anything else like that, but
You do have a Letterboxd.
oh, I do have a letterbox. I should plug that. Yes. Let me see if I can find the username. I think it's just Jakob Ross.
It's just
JAKOBROSS. And you'll see my face as the profile picture. So yeah.
It was
Cool.
awesome
Yeah,
having
thank
you on,
you.
man. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you,
Yeah, thanks
glad
so
you
much.
accepted. Thank you.
Absolutely.
this
This
was
was a
great
fun
having you on.
time. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right. If you guys do not want to be spoiled for next episode, make sure to watch A Ghost Story by David Lowery. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you're on one of our audio-only platforms like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. That would be really great. And thank you again to Jakob Ross. Thank you, man. We really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
This is a great time. And get stuck,
Get stuck, everybody.
Yeah. Get Stuckmanized.
Get Stuckmanized. New episodes every Tuesday.